La 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 la.
Join us at Maitri Gala today, celebrating 35 years of community service. Let's meet some of the people associated with Maitri and hear them out on their journey advocating for victims and survivors of domestic violence.
Good evening, I'm Sameer Ladiwala. I serve on the board and I'm currently the president of Maitri. Maitri's singular focus on helping South Asian community and its focus on addressing domestic violence. It is very, very rare, almost impossible to find an organization, whether it is for profit or for non-profit, to find an organization that is so committed and focused on a singular cause, and that is what I found quite inspiring. I think that would be raising awareness. This is an issue that is often a taboo to be discussed, but I think we need to really increase our outreach and really focus on prevention. By making sure people acknowledge and understand the depth and extent of this societal issue, really, so that we can get engagement across communities, across genders, and really get everybody to participate in helping address the issue. I think the easiest way is to really tell the story, right? You need to be able to understand the depth of the needs, the requirements that the organization has, and the unique services that Maitri provides that the survivors really can't get anywhere else. And so once people understand the impact that the organization creates, we find it easier for people to open their hearts and be generous to Maitri. This year we are hoping to raise 1.2 million tonight in the gala. Our community has helped us in the past, and I'm pretty sure tonight is going to be no different.
I'm Srilata Raghavan. I'm the Vice President of the board at Maitri. I've been in the tech industry for many, many years, and in many teams I was the only woman. I never had an issue in many of the companies, but in one of the companies I found that there were several organizations supporting women. And I didn't quite understand why initially, but when I heard some of the stories that the women had, I realized that women in the workplace have a very hard time. And then I was introduced to Maitri, and when I heard some of the stories of the women, especially South Asian women like myself with the same background, going through some of the issues that were far tougher than the ones I ever heard of before, I was really inspired. I felt that I should be doing something more for people in our own organization. I would say there are three things that you really need to focus on. Those that have a philanthropic mind. I think the first thing is to help organizations and people that are in your own community, that are local. It's great to help people all over the world, but focusing on organizations that are in your neighborhood is very important. The second thing I feel is that there are organizations that are easy to support, like education and certain organizations that help certain sets of people. But when it comes to some topic like domestic violence, there are not that many people that support. So if you have it in your heart, this is an organization to support. And the third thing is the people that run the organization. When you see them serving with passion, when you see them serving with dedication, I think those are the organizations that we should support.
My name is Zakia Afrin. I have been with Maitri for the past 19 years, and currently I'm overseeing our direct services as well as our violence prevention strategies program. At Maitri, what we do is requires us to be very mindful every day. We work with trauma survivors, so we have to be very careful the way we talk to them, the resources we provide, and even the way we set up our office spaces. So memorable moments are not just one, there are many, but I can definitely mention one of those for you today. We have client wellness programs which we called client parties once in a while, every few months for our victims and survivors. And in that time, we bring food, we have lots of arts and crafts activities. We try to make it a fun time. So last month when we were hosting our client party, one of the clients, while she was eating, she said, whenever I come to Maitri, I eat and I also pack food for home. It's just like my mom's house. And that really felt so special to me. And I think that is why all of us that work at Maitri, we focus on the positives and not what is happening around us, make those things that are happening around us bring us down. Last year we helped 815 clients in different programs. More than 1,500 calls, I must say. And remember, all of these calls are from survivors and concerned community members who want to know whether there are culturally responsive services in the Bay Area.
What do you check?
It's not one thing that I like about my work at Maitri. It is a blessing for me to be able to help anybody who can benefit from our help. It is also a place where I work with some of my best friends. I have made some very good relationships over the years at Maitri.
I am a legal advocacy coordinator at Maitri, and I've been with Maitri since June 2014. This is my 12th year. There are quite a few, but one thing that comes in my mind, it's always about a survivor's story and their resilience and success, that how they measure. At part of our legal advocacy program, we were supporting a survivor who has been fighting her legal case in a court, and it has been 3 years, nothing was moving. When she reached out to us, she needed help with legal representation, she needed help with paperwork, she didn't know what else to do. When she connected with us, we found a trauma-informed attorney for her. We helped her with her paperwork. We accompanied her as a support person in all her court hearings and also provided language support. The words that still echoing in my heart when her last hearing happened, and I was there in the court with her, and she said, I feel free, and thank you so much for being with me. I feel freedom today. And you know, the word freedom is so powerful that when somebody feels that they were trapped, but now they can breathe freely and they can feel the essence of freedom. I think it's one of the best things that as an advocate I can see from a survivor's perspective. There are so many things. I mean, this organization has taught me to be a better advocate every day. I come every day. We have a very compassionate team, very supportive, and of course the cause that we are working on, like we are not only supporting survivors, but we are also creating awareness in the community so that we all become responsible individuals and support this cause, that why the need for domestic violence awareness is important. So I think this is the best place that I could be.
I'm Aarti Jhori. I'm on the board of Maitri, and I am the governance chair, and I'm also the co-chair for Gala 2026. I actually know Maitri from when Maitri started because I've been a long-time Bay Area resident. We have been supporters for a long time, and I'm very proud and honored to now be part of the Maitri board for the last 18 months or so. So as I said, we have known of Maitri for a long time. I actually have very close friends that have been domestic violence survivors and who have greatly benefited from what Maitri has done, which is what inspired me when the occasion came and when the opportunity arose. I decided to join the board of Maitri. I believe that all non-profits support a cause that's noble, and it is sometimes hard, especially as immigrants from the South Asian diaspora. Most of us tend to send resources back to our home countries. But I think Maitri fits a gap that would otherwise not be fulfilled, because it supports local survivors, local domestic survivors who really do not have that backbone of support. And that's how I would encourage, and that's the reason why I joined the board of Maitri.
Good evening. My name is Sonia Pelia. I have been with Maitri as a volunteer board member, past board president for 33 years almost. I was a feminist, which I did not know what it meant when I was 14. I didn't know there was a word for it. I was very upset about gender inequality in India, and there was a particular episode that happened, and I was so angry. And when I was 17, I read a book, and they said feminism is equal rights for social, political, and economic situations for men and women. And I said, oh, I'm a feminist. And then I moved to the US, and I felt like the work I did in the Silicon Valley was interesting, but it wasn't soul satisfying. And one day I read a newspaper article in the India Currents actually, and they said that they were looking for people who spoke Punjabi, Hindi, Bengali to help the survivors of domestic violence. So I called, and it was Chitra's home number. Chitra Divakaruni, she was one of the founders. And then I went to my first meeting, and I thought it was the best thing I had ever discovered. And that was almost 33 years ago. I think there is a lot of appealing back or moving back of laws which protect gender violence victims, right? I think that as we go through the new administration, the administration that's been going on, the push on immigration, pushback on immigration, and then on women's rights, I think these things are going to really impact us because we won't have legal protections. Usually it was you had the legal protections and then you had to press upon the system to actually follow through on the protections. Now when you don't have a legal protection, there's no legal recourse. I feel really that is the serious issue facing immigrant survivors. Because I was a peer counselor also for many, many years. But I'll tell you my favorite story because it involves so much about what our society believes is right and wrong. And so this young woman, she was a nurse in India from a very poor family. This guy and his family went from here. They had letters from the bank. They had letters from his job saying he had good character. They didn't tell them he had been divorced 3 times already. Now she was from a very poor family, so the parents got her married off, and when she arrived a few months later, they actually didn't let her enter the house. And this is pre-internet days. And they called the police, and the police took her away, and then the police called us. And she begged them to take her back. She said the humiliation, the shame, her younger sister would never get married, and he just didn't want her. And he wrote 11 letters to the immigration services saying she only married him for the green card. So she went to the hearing, and the agent showed her that file folder with the letters, and she said, I'm ready to resume the marriage. Bring him here, I will get married to him. I'll stay married to him. And he was so struck, and this is before all the resources were available for immigrant women who were abandoned here. And he was so struck that he gave her her green card. She went through her exams. Maitri got her a laptop. It was very old, somebody's old laptop. She got a job once she got the green card. She got a job, and she got a car from Maitri. Maitri helped her. And she then, cleared as an LN, then she became an RN. And she got married again after 5 years. She actually invited me to her wedding. And one time after 10 years, she called me. She said, do you remember me? I said, yes, of course I remember you. She said, I want to tell you I've had a baby. And she was a senior nurse, such a good life. But you know something, the sad part was that she was willing to take anything to just keep the marriage going, because she came from a poor family and had no support from the back. So I always get joy when I think of her, that she got a successful life, she educated herself, she has 2 children. What more can one want, right?
My name is Sanjay Mohan, and I have known about Maitri since 2013. We've been coming to various galas. I have not made it every year, but many of the galas have come. We came to learn about Maitri through another board member, Meghna, and I myself joined the board late last year. A couple of things. This particular issue of domestic violence is something that I have personally observed or been witness to in my own family life, and I was one of the reasons I started to come to Maitri Galas and donate to Maitri. And I also learned that over time that Maitri does amazing work on this issue, and I was looking to participate in a community service that I know touches people in my own community, and it is not some dispersed kind of a thing. It is local. It affects people that I know, people that are in my community, and this is one way to participate in that. Yeah. I think the most pressing thing is awareness and trying to make our community members become more aware that this issue exists amongst us, and I think that it is not something that people are ready to talk about or to admit. So this is what I see personally as an important issue. They donate to Maitri because Maitri is very effective at addressing this issue. They reach people that are in need and then really make a huge difference in people's lives in transitioning from being a survivor to, from a victim to becoming a survivor and thriving. And then just the amount of services, the number of clients that they handle, and then the various forms of services that they provide, including support with housing, transportation, food, schools, advice to legal advice. It's just a number of different ways and different needs that victims and survivors have that can be addressed by Maitri and then done for such a long period of time. I've had a chance to get to know the staff, and they're so professional, so committed to doing what they're doing that I know they're making a difference. Yeah.
My name is Nandini Ray, and I am managing right now Maitri's outreach and prevention program, and I have been with Maitri for over 14 years now. And in my journey with Maitri, I have seen the very best and the very worst of humanity. I have seen courage, resilience, strength, activism, empathy. I have also seen cruelty, how our survivors are abused by their loved ones, by their own family members. But what amazes me the most is their courage and their resilience. And I believe that domestic violence is a learned behavior. And if we raise awareness, if we identify the root causes of domestic violence, then together with all community members, we can end domestic violence. We can prevent domestic violence. Prevention is really important, because when people are calling us, the damage is already done, and they are calling us to get help, and we are putting band-aid over their wound. But that shouldn't be the case. We have to have, we have to talk a lot with our youth, our men in our community, and everyone, so that we can prevent domestic violence before it happens. We can change the culture where domestic violence is happening. When domestic violence, with the condition in the community, in the society that are enabling domestic violence, that are supporting domestic violence. So we have to identify and eradicate those root causes of domestic violence. So I am hopeful, see that tonight so many people are here to support Maitri, to support our cause, and because they believe that together we can end domestic violence. Thank you.
My name is Rama Dharmarajan. I'm the Executive Director of Maitri, and this is my 19th year with the organization. So when I joined Maitri, I had no idea that this would become such a significant part of my life. The people I met here the staff, the board, the volunteers, and above all, the people that we help. There's just been an incredible sense of belonging and amazing learning from the resilience of survivors that we help. And our team, it never fails to humble me how much people put in here. And so once I joined the organization, there was just no turning back. This has become a very integral part of my life. I think today more and more people are aware of domestic violence as a community issue. In the past, I think people didn't think much of it. They may have had some feelings towards it, but dismissed it as a personal issue. I think people will donate now because they know people going through it. They realize how hard it is for survivors to get back on their feet. It's a long road, and so many of them, particularly in the Bay Area, are immigrants and they're trying to make a life here. Above all, I feel the community has changed where a large part of what they want to do is give back to society in some way, and causes like Maitri, which are so close to the heart, which impact lives and which actually transform lives. I think it's not very hard to see why people would want to donate to Maitri. And today's gala, we can see there's such an amazing response, such a wonderful crowd around me. The energy is amazing. It's a long road, and our belief is that you never stop trying and you take baby steps. And even when you take larger steps, which I think as an organization in 18 years Maitri has been doing, even then you have to be very patient that the needle has to be moved, but it may take time. What we are doing is we engage with youth, because you go upstream in your prevention efforts and you make changes from when the mind is young, and where youth can actually and today's youth are so intelligent, so aware, and also going through their issues and challenges. If you can make an impact there where they can understand some of these tenets of healthy relationships, I think we can slowly make a big difference by the time they grow up, and they can transfer their learnings and they can set an example to their next generation. In addition, we do so much of social media outreach. We do panels and presentations. So there's a lot of community engagement and advocacy that we are doing. We also do policy advocacy by raising the voice, where in departments that matter. And slowly but surely, I think things will change, and we have to just be positive. Don't give up. Don't give up on us. Don't give up on the cause. Don't give up on your community. The health of the community is defined by many things, including healthy relationships. And so volunteer, donate, but above all, don't make judgments of anyone going through this. Please understand that in our society, sometimes there's a lot of shaming, so people continue to live in the shadows, though they are very capable and they are as much strong citizens of the community as anyone else. So continue to support and speak up whenever you see abuse, whenever you see violence. You must speak up. We have to change the fabric of society. Only then will survivors be able to get out of their situation, and prevention will happen, and slowly but surely we can eradicate abuse at some point of time in the future.
T.R. Ramachandran. I think I've been associated with Maitri for a good part of at least a couple of decades now, or at least a decade if I recall. It's been a while. So, but yes, for quite some time. Learned about Maitri through Rama. And once she started volunteering, we became aware of Maitri, and we immediately got interested, both my wife Kirti and I. And since then, we've been very engaged and rooting for your success. I think domestic violence, domestic abuse is it's a long-standing problem in, I'd say, many societies, which especially impacting women. And this is a topic that has been close to my heart for quite some time. So the fact that we were able to find a nonprofit working directly on this and in close proximity to where we live, it just turned out to be, a good match. I think number one, continuing to make progress towards equality for women and men. And more than equality, I think there needs to be a culture of respect, again, towards women and men, but particularly towards women, and making sure that women are seen as equally capable in all endeavors that men are. And then making it possible for them to create their own lives to what their dreams are. Primarily, this is a topic that sometimes runs below the surface of society. It's sometimes hard to surface. It's hard for especially women who are in difficult situations to speak out. There are situations where sometimes they may have family members who don't understand it and may make it harder for them to talk about it. So my message would be empower women to be able to speak out more, to be able to get help more easily. That would be my message.